Today, we're going to be meeting all of my pets. Get it? Because it's a snake. Get it? Hey guys, it's Erin and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to do a video about all of my pets. I know this has been done 100 times by other YouTubers, but today it's my turn. I wanted to make this video just as like an introductory video so you guys can meet all of my animals. Since I am just starting out, I kind of wanted to introduce you to everybody and you can see what I've got going on here. Eventually I'll probably move on to cage tours. I know I already did one for my hedgehog Ducky, but I'll do like a little bit more in-depth cage tours in the future. I just kind of want to do just a brief overview of everybody and show you what all I have. To some of you, you might think it's a lot, and to others, you might not think it's that much, because I really don't have that many animals compared to other pet tubers. But I have more than like the average person in general. When it comes to owning animals, what I personally believe, and I think everybody should believe this same way, is you should not own more animals than what you can physically take care of. Like, if your animal's health is declining because you are in over your head how many you can truly take care of, then you have too many pets. These are living beings that you have to take care of, and they take a lot of work. So it's important to me to only have however many I can take care of. And since we are living in a one-bedroom apartment, space is also a factor. So like I said, I know I don't have as many as a lot of people do, but that's okay. It's what works for me, and I'm happy and content with what I have right now. So without further ado, let's get started. To start off with today, I wanted to introduce you to my ball python Minion. I got him as a rehome, which you're gonna see is kind of a trend today. Most of my animals were rehomed or adopted. I found him on a local like Facebook reptile group from a guy who was rehoming him. And he was originally gonna breed him, but then decided not to. So he rehomed him to me, and I've had him for about 2.5 years or so. His color kind of looks weird today. I think he's in that weird stage, like after they turn, like when they're getting ready to shed, and then after they turn blue, but before they actually shed. So I'm not gonna keep him out too long just because I think he is getting ready to shed, because his color's looking a little bit pale right now. So I'm gonna go stick him back just so I don't stress him out too much. This here is my bearded dragon Nala. You may have seen her in the other video I did about her metabolic bone disease. She also was a rehome. I'm not gonna go like too into depth because I want you guys to watch that other video, which I will link here. But yeah, she does have metabolic bone disease. Her face is pretty deformed. Like I said, she was a rehome, so I did not do this to her. She was given to me by a customer that came into my work. I am now her third home, and I believe that she is about 5 years old, but I don't really have any real way of telling. I personally have had her for about 3 years, so I'm just estimating that she was already a couple years old when I got her. But she just has the most beautiful coloring. I just love all of her orange, and when she gets in the sun, this like blackish color turns pure black, and then her orange brightens up, and she seriously looks like a little tiger. I love it. And she's got a grumpy face. It's kind of like a face only a mother can love. This here is Slinky, my northern blue-tongued skink. I believe she's a female. I have no idea. I'm just guessing she's a female because her head is a little bit more narrow, and a lot of times male skinks will drop sperm plugs, which I've never seen her do. So I'm assuming that she's a female, but I could be totally wrong. She is another rehome. Obviously you're noticing a trend now. I got her off of Craigslist when she was about 8-9 months old maybe, from someone who was just getting rid of her. I drove all the way to Kansas City for her because she was listed very cheap. If you know anything about blue-tongued skinks, especially northerns, they're really not a cheap reptile. Granted, there are plenty of reptiles that are way more expensive, but they are still a little pricey. So she was listed super cheap, so I made a road trip down to Kansas City to pick her up, and I will have had her for 2 years come this spring, and she's filled out really nicely. When I first got her, the people were keeping her on Carefresh. Like, not even joking, Carefresh for hamsters. So honestly, she looks perfect in my opinion, considering the fact that she didn't quite have the best care to start out with. But she's wiggling around. She's not a fan of being handled, so she's a little grumpy. Let's see if we can get a good shot of that blue tongue. No? Of course, when she's on the spot, she's like, nope, not gonna happen. I just woke her up, so she's a little bit grumpy and thrown off because it is the middle of the day. But this here is Ducky. Look at her cute white face. I think she just has the most adorable face. Oh my God, she is just so cute. But this is my African pygmy hedgehog, Ducky. You may have seen her in my hedgehog bin cage video that I made. She will be a year come April, so she's about 10 months old now, and she is the sweetest hedgehog that I have ever owned in my life. Like, nothing bothers her. She's just such a little angel baby, and I love her so, so much. Now for the grumpier of the two. This here is Minnie. Like, she won't even, let's see if we can get her to come out. You can see her black nose. This is Minnie. She is actually the mother of my other hedgehog, Ducky. She will be 2 years old in May. I actually got her from a breeder, so she was the only one that I actually purchased, other than like my fish, you know, but she was the only one that I actually purchased from a breeder. And she's normally not super, super grumpy, but like I said, I just woke him up and it's the middle of the day. So, I mean, you have to understand a little bit. I'd be grumpy too, but there's Miss Minnie. So this is my first kitty, Maximus. He is a Bengal tabby mix. I don't know if you can tell from his coloration or not, if you can see the Bengal in him, but I adopted him and his brother Kovu, who I'll show you in a second, from the Humane Society when they were a year old. They are now 6.5, so I've had him for a little over 5 years, and as you can see, he's so loving. And then Mr. Kovu is in the bed over here soaking up the sun. He was just cleaning himself in the sun. Sorry dude, I just shocked you, huh? But they are both brothers, and if you cannot tell, they are twins. They look very similar, but Kovu is a little bit lighter color than Maximus is. But they're just the best kitties ever. They love to love, and they're so freaking playful. That definitely is the Bengal in them. Max is still over here like wanting some lovin's. He was being really lame, and I tried to bribe him with treats, which didn't work, but the toy got it. So this is my Dalmatian Pongo. He is 6 years old. He is also a rehome. I found him on Craigslist when he was about a year old, and so I've had him ever since. And he is the best boy. And then this here is my 60-gallon reef tank, saltwater tank. I, as you can tell, don't have very many fish. I actually only have one Melanaris wrasse, which is that guy right there. He's my favorite fish because he's so pretty. He's like rainbow. And then I have one clownfish. I used to have a pair of clownfish, but my female died a couple months ago and I just haven't replaced it. We move a lot, so we really don't keep a lot of fish. Once we kind of get settled into a more permanent area, we will probably stock this better. We actually want to upgrade this tank to a 75-gallon, but I do have lots of coral in here. I got a bubble coral, a frog spawn. I have to move those two because they are fighting. I don't know. You can see kind of how shriveled up my frog spawn is. That means they're fighting. Trumpet coral, candy cane coral, got a nice cabbage leather, some mushrooms, and then this is my largest coral. It's another frog spawn, and the Duncan, and more mushrooms. So yeah, I'm super into the coral. I love the fish too, but the coral are definitely my favorite. And last up today are what I want to call my honorable mentions, I guess you could say, which are my 5 ornate box turtles that I own. I'll scoot over and then I'll put pictures of them here as I talk about them. The reason why they are honorable mentions is because they do not currently live with me. They are still my box turtles, but right now they're living with my parents. The reason is right now my husband and I are living in a very small 1-bedroom apartment, and I personally don't believe in keeping turtles and tortoises in tanks unless they're like itty bitty babies maybe. My box turtles are used to living in an outdoor enclosure, and I'll put a picture of that over here too. But yeah, at our old house, they had a huge 50 square foot like outdoor enclosure for themselves to run around in all the time. And so when we moved, I just was not okay with the idea of bringing him into an apartment, and like I didn't even know where I was gonna put him. So my wonderful, wonderful parents agreed to take them in for me. So they are currently living with my parents out in Iowa. Eventually, when we do get a house and we have our yard back, I will take my box turtles back. My little sister will probably fight me on that, but I will be bringing my box turtles back with me. But I'm gonna start out. This is my pride and joy, my baby girl. This is Bonsai. She was actually, all of my box turtles were rehomes. She was a rehome from Craigslist. I've owned her for about 4, maybe 5 years now. She's my longest owned reptile, and she has the best personality. She is so spunky and so crazy, and she will chase you around the pen because she wants food, and she is so fun. But that is Miss Bonsai. Also, I don't know how old any of my turtles are. You cannot tell the age of a turtle if you don't know when they were hatched. That whole saying that you can count the rings on their shell is a myth. You cannot tell how old a turtle is by counting the rings on the shell. Anyone who tells you can is wrong. That is a total myth. So all my box turtles, I have no idea how old they are. Next up is my big mama Edna. She is the largest of the group. I adopted her from the Nebraska Humane Society about 2.5 years ago, and she is my big mama. Next up is Squirt. She's the baby of the group. She's the only one that I actually have an idea of how old she is because I did get her from somebody who had her since she was a hatchling. So I rehomed her from a friend of a friend. I have had for about 2 years. So I'm estimating is about 4 years old. She is the smallest of the group, and she is just so cute. And then the last two are my real rescues. I personally did not rescue them, but someone I know did. She got them from somebody who kept them in a cardboard box for years. I don't know if it was like their entire life or how long they were in the cardboard box for exactly, but all I know is it was no lighting and all they were being fed was lettuce. That's it. So these turtles were pretty screwed up when she got them. Their beaks were overgrown. I mean, they were malnourished, everything like that. So she took them in, this woman, and she asked me for all kinds of advice. So I helped her out. I helped her with setup. I helped her with diet, everything that they needed, kind of helped her learn how to take care of these animals. And she did a really good job taking care of them. But a couple months in, she messaged me and she was like, hey, I just realized that turtles are just not my thing. So she asked if I would take them, and I said yes. So these two are Bernard and Bianca. Bonus points if you know what movie those names are from. I have had them for about 2 years as well. Bernard is the only male of the group. Generally with box turtles, you don't want to keep multiple males together because they can fight. Females generally do fine, so he is the only boy out of 4 girls. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, notify, subscribe, whatever. All that nonsense down below. If you would like to follow Pongo's Instagram account, I do have an Instagram for my dog, yes. I'm gonna link that down below as well, so please click on it and please go follow him. We just started recently and we're trying to build up more follows, and I would really appreciate it. Yeah, I'll see you next time.